Our second craft is going to be woven paper hearts. We're going to weave with paper, and the heart we're going to make is going to come out looking like this. To start your heart, you're going to take your red paper, fold it in half, press that down, crease it really nice. Take a pencil and you're going to draw half of a heart. Okay, can you guys see that? It's just pencil, so it's not showing up very well, but once you draw your half heart, you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut that out. And that way both sides of your heart match and are equal, which will make it look much nicer than if you just tried to freehand draw the entire heart. Because I know I end up having to erase and redraw and erase and redraw a million times until I have a heart that I think looks nice. So this way, both sides are equal. Now the long, tedious part that comes next is the drawing and measuring of every part of this. I only have a fabric measuring tape because I don't know what happened to my ruler. It got lost somewhere. So I guess I'll have to buy a new one. But you're going to want to draw lines on your heart going from the top to the bottom of the heart, and you want them to be any length apart as long as it's all equal. For what I'm going to do and what older kids or teens can do is 1 centimeter. That's a nice challenge. Younger kids, you can make it thicker. You can go 1 inch, you can do a 1/2 inch, whatever you guys think is easier for your age and how long you want to spend on this project. What I do is I lay this down, I pick a number, any number. 14 is what I've been going with, but it really doesn't matter. And use that to lay on the exact center line of your heart. Use that to make a dot. And then at each centimeter or whatever length you've chosen, keep making those dots all the way out. Go down further, put your number 14 or whatever your lucky number is in the middle, make your dots out across from it. You're gonna then go back once all your lines are made, make like 3 or 4. You're gonna line up all your dots all the way down and draw your lines so that you're gonna have, let's get in on the pencil so you can see it. The dots are gonna connect to the dots below them, to the dots below them. And that will all connect until you have a bunch of lines going across your heart all the way down. Let me take a minute to do that and then I'll show you what it looks like. I use the side of the ruler, or you can just use another piece of paper like this. Any straight edge you want to line up your dots and trace it just to help keep your lines straighter. Once all our lines are drawn, I'll show you what it's like to start cutting it to make the holes that you're going to weave through. But your heart's gonna have lines like this, equally spaced apart, going all the way from the top to the bottom. After your lines are drawn on your heart, you're gonna wanna start cutting. I already started cutting that half just to make sure I'm doing it right before I show you guys something that is wrong. And then I look like an idiot. So what you're gonna do, without making a hard crease, you're gonna fold your heart in half. See your lines? You're gonna make little snips along the lines in the middle. So that you have somewhere to shove your scissors in without making like a rippy gap area like the other side of my heart. This is just, you know, trial and error. It's all trial and error. If you make mistakes, you know, you make mistakes. That's life. Little one there at the end. Then flatten it back out so that you can cut your strips all the way up, all the way down. That was a lie. You don't go all the way up and all the way down. You want to make sure you're leaving an edge. Otherwise, the areas you weave are going to come right off the page. And that's just not going to work out well for anybody involved. So, see, you cut, and then just leave a little bit at the end to hold the papers in that you're weaving in. Once you have finished cutting the strips out in your heart, it's gonna look like this, with a border all the way around the edge that isn't cut through. Younger kids, your spaces can be farther apart, like I said. The important part is that however wide your strips are in your heart is the same width that you cut the strips in your rainbow colored paper. That way everything will line up nice and square and look really pretty. Now you're gonna take all of your rainbow papers and you're going to draw the same kinds of lines on them that you drew on your heart. You want them to go across the long way and be 1 centimeter across, or however big your heart is. So you're gonna do that with all the papers, again, this time cutting all the way across. So when you're measuring, you're gonna wanna make a line at every centimeter going down the paper. Remember, if your lines on your heart are larger than 1 centimeter, make your lines on your rainbow paper the same length. Move it down again. Little lines or dots every centimeter. You're going to do that all the way down. Then you're going to use those dots. You're going to line them up and use them to draw your perfectly straight lines all the way down. You're going to do that with every rainbow paper that you have. Once all your rainbow strips of paper are cut out, then we can begin weaving. You can make the colors in whatever pattern you want. Just pick an end and start. You're gonna go behind, in front, behind, in front. Each strip, you're gonna weave it through. Behind, in front. And then you're gonna go behind the next one, in front of the next one. See how that looks? You're gonna continue that all the way through. Another way we can do this is to lay this down, and instead of weaving anything behind, just pick up every other strand and put it through there, leaving the rest of the strands laying down. And then you can just tuck it into each strand like that. Now the furthest, let's go, the furthest down I can put that. Can you guys see that? That's the bottom of that edge and the bottom of that edge. So see how that's woven across? And whatever pattern you did the last time, you're just gonna change it. If the yellow is on top, you're gonna want the orange to go underneath, because you're gonna want the red of the heart to show through. And this is a long process. It's easier with the smaller kids if you use bigger segments, but older kids are gonna need more of a challenge than that, so that's why we go with the thinner slices here, like that. You're gonna use your glue, and you're gonna glue the edges to the front or back of the heart, and that'll help keep your paper from wiggling around and moving on you. So I would put my yellow there, my orange here, and that'll help hold it in place so it's not wiggling all over while you're trying to weave these papers through. I think I'm gonna have my pattern go yellow, orange, blue, green, purple. You can do whatever pattern you want, whatever colors you want. Just do the same thing. The next one will start on top and go underneath, and just keep going. You're gonna repeat the pattern again and again and again until you get all the way to the bottom, the very point. We'll talk in a minute about how to do the top part. So once you get to the top of the heart, this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna take the next color and weave it through like normal. See, now my fingers aren't working, and now I look like I don't know how to weave a heart that I've been weaving for the last hour. So that'll fit through this one. I don't know if I'll get it through another. I can. That looks like there's just enough room to get it through one more time. Ew, don't rip the paper. Yikes. That's all I need is to. Don't rip the edge of the heart once you get up to the top. Alright. So, now you've got to make sure as you're spanning across, because there's no more slots here, that when you do come back through, you're going the right one in order to make sure that this all fits. But then once I get to that center point, I'm just gonna go right in and cut it and get so that I can accurately get both sides, well, all 4 sides glued down. Right, I think we can get one more color on top, and it's up to you if you want to thread it all the way through and then cut it, or if you want to cut it in half and thread each one through separately. Either way, it's fine. It's whatever your preference is, whatever makes it easier for you. If you've got a little extra room and you want to get another one in there, you can just snip up a little bit closer to the border if you've got some extra room around your border and you want to make sure you get that last color in that makes it look nice. Really round out the top of the heart. So the first thing you want to do when you're cutting is just start by following along the edge of your heart. And there you have your woven heart. Now you've completed your woven heart. I hope you enjoyed this virtual CCA lesson, and we'll see you next time.